there. That should be solid. Welcome, hello. Welcome, hello. Alrighty. Let's do this. Let's get home. Alright. I have a topic. It's something I've thought about before, but I'd like to give a little bit of a formal discourse on it. Let's formally talk about this subject. The subject of makeup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my best argument for makeup and all of the reasons against makeup. And because I think that I only have one positive, I'm going to start with that one. Welcome. Say hello. I said hello. You say hello. That's how, transactional relation, whatever. Doesn't matter. All right. So, makeup. Here's my argument for makeup. What's up, Whistleboy? Thank you. All right, here's my argument for makeup. Here it is. Here it goes. My argument for makeup. The reason women, specifically women, obviously. If it wasn't obvious, I'll make it obvious. Women makeup. The reason that women should wear makeup, this is the only reason I can think of, is to prevent genetic designer genetics. What am I thinking? I had the right phrase in mind earlier. To prevent the genocide of people that are ugly, basically, or less attractive, or have blemishes, or whatever. Okay? Whatever. So, that's my best argument for makeup, is that makeup could hypothetically level the playing field in the attractability scales and prevent unnecessary selective breeding. That's pretty much what I wanted to say. So, listen, I'll get to that. Whistleboy says it helps with self-esteem. I'll get there. Okay, I've got lots of comments. I've been thinking about this subject for quite a while. All right, so my positive that I came up with in my own mind was the benefit to makeup is it could hypothetically prevent selective breeding and a form of ugly genocide by selective breeding. All right. So that's all I have to say good about it. I get the self-esteem. I'm not going to go there. Well, I'll go there, just on the other side, actually. All right. So first of all, men and women both have skin. Okay? Men and women both have skin. Can we all agree that men and women both have faces? And men and women both have skin. Okay? We'll start there. We'll start low, we'll start slow. Okay? Women do not judge men. So far as I know, women don't judge men based on the quality of their skin. Now, there are exceptions, okay? There are exceptions, okay? There are men like Brad Pitt who Well, actually, he's the exception to the exception. Brad Pitt is actually the exception to the exception. Because Brad Pitt has pits all over his face. That, he probably wears tons of makeup, by the way. So that kind of, maybe that's why he's the exception to the exception. But he's actually extremely pit-faced. Seriously. Lots of pits. But he's also considered, or was considered, as one of the more attractive men of our time, or whatever. I don't know. But so all I'm saying is, women have faces, men have faces, and women pick men based on characteristics that aren't necessarily as visual as men. More on attitude and character and status, those sorts of things. Those are usually the sorts of things that women look at. Now, I would say that those are good things to look at. Character, status, I mean, it arguably is a good thing to look at. It arguably is. There's also obviously reasons why that wouldn't be a good thing. So anyway. Now, I'm sure most of you are well aware that men traditionally or historically or naturally focus on a visual appearance first, and that is what has probably, I say probably, influenced. My day was insane and just a blessing, but also really discouraging. So I'm so thankful for being able to work 13 and a half hours. But today is also my marriage anniversary. So, it's a little bittersweet. I expected to get off at 5, and that didn't work because I got heavily distracted in a conversation with my landlord, or not my landlord, but the realty agency that handles my landlord's business, and they told me that they were going to be raising the rent 5.5%, and I essentially begged them for mercy, to put it short. Well, you shouldn't beg. Sometimes you should beg, but I should definitely make my request known to God. Except I do, and I have. So anyway, they want to move it from 900 to 950. I told them all this stuff of what I've gone through, and that I'm working 50 hours a week just to feed my family, the bare minimum, and that I'm commuting, and that all of this is a result of getting of a massive scandal of a company I used to work for, and it's, I've had to do an industry hop, and it's all a nightmare, and I'm doing the best I can with what I've got, and whatever. So I said all that, and then they didn't say anything back. I assume they'll follow up tomorrow, because it crossed over the 5 o'clock thing, and they're the kind of office that they'll just hang the phone up at 5 o'clock. Seriously. They'll just be like, okay, well, it's fine. Hello? That's just, they're fine. They've done a fine job. They treat us well. Anyway. Anyway, distractions. I do want to talk about this makeup thing. Lots of thoughts there. But when you asked me about how my day was, then I had to think about stuff that I was obviously trying to avoid. No, there's certainly so much to be thankful for. And I say that 100% sincerely. There's also a lot to pray for. A lot. I do need a miracle. I mean, seriously, a miracle. Like water to wine miracle. Given my track record, given the fact that prosperity, not even prosperity, given that I want to stop being I just want to stop being in the bottom 5% of American income levels. That's all. Can I get like to the 20% range? Can I just be, at the top of the low class? That's all if I'm knocking at the door of pretending to be middle class, that would just be fantastic for me. I would be just fine with that. Anyway, we'll move on, because I know how much people just love to spiral when I talk about money. Listen, some people are ashamed to bring up money and their financial circumstances and all that. I'm not ashamed. It's just, hey, this is my life. If it makes you feel a certain way, I'm sorry. I'm just going to talk about my life and how I'm dealing with it, and how I'm reading the Word. I'm praying. I'm trying to seek godly counsel and take God's Word at what it says and show you how that's done. Now, there's obviously plenty of opportunities and times that I've taken, or not opportunities, but just times that I've not gotten it quite right, complained too much, maybe been even improper at times, but I'm working on it. And thank you, Whistleboy. Also, regarding that, I will be doing the toe GIF soon. So SpongeBob popped up just now, I'm guessing. You have problems in life, others don't want to hear it. That's very true, Greta. I know. But I do my best to point back to the point, and because it's relatable usually. I mean, unless everybody's life is just, Pleasantville, like the movie, which is a joke, obviously. No, the point is, what do we do when we face various trials? We consider it all joy? I'm trying. And I'm not failing. It's just, it's work. And it's good work. So, all right, back to makeup talk. So I was sitting, the thought just struck me in my mind. I was like, hey, makeup. There's something not right about this. Something that's not equal, right? Men don't wear makeup except the sodomites and movie stars. But it's an uneven playing field, right? And the fact that society deems it necessary, so to speak, it's okay. So it's like this. Far as I see it, makeup is used. Now, there's probably subversive things, historical things. Maybe it's all one group. I don't know. Makeup's been used since the days of Esther and before. So I think that the reason makeup's used is because it works, right? I think that it's a pragmatic thing. As a man that thinks that there's something not right, I believe in integrity and wholeness and truth and purity and the beauty of God and His creation, and covering that up seems both unnecessary and incomplete, or it's just it's a shroud, right? It's something that again, it just doesn't seem right. God creates a human being. They look the way that they look. And in my opinion, if it takes makeup, I'm not saying it doesn't work, and I get that, but is that the dude? Is that the dude you want? Is the one that is is the man that you want the one that needs to be tricked by makeup? That's kind of the way that I look at it. And I know I'm not that guy. So, yeah, taught by the fallen. That's interesting because of the covering, right? The covering. So the animal skins and covering guilt. I don't know. It's interesting. It's just interesting. What are you covering up? See, you're hiding. You're hiding your true self. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to go live in a nudist colony. Not into that idea either. Not into that idea, okay? So that's not what I'm advocating for. I'm not like, reveal thy true self. This isn't some kind of Planet of the Apes into the world scenario where we reveal our true selves to thy beautiful, the nuclear warhead thing, unto your, I don't know. I can't remember the quote. But anyway, unto yourself we reveal our truth. I don't know. It was crazy. But you get it. I'm not advocating for like a nudist colony where everybody's just no makeup, no clothes, no coverings. I'm not saying that that's good or that's the right way to do it. I believe in modesty. But I also believe that God has created all people the way that He's created them. And that if it takes makeup for you to get the mate, that's just sad. And if it's just part of the fall, okay. Obviously, it ought not be that way. That's my point. Obviously, it ought not be that way. So yeah, it's a little sad. And I talk about it to my wife regularly. I bring it up and I go, you know, you don't need that. And she just kind of rolls her eyes at me. And I'm like, Grace, you know, it's fine. But you're doing it for you, not for me. I mean, hygiene is a good thing. And I think that in some ways it's considered, it really becomes part of hygiene, right? I think it's part of, and this goes into that what comment made by Whistleboy, that there is a self-confidence situation associated with makeup. Builds self-confidence or whatever, you know, self-esteem, whatever the words are. I think that that's linked to the element and how it's become an aspect of hygiene. Now, whether or not it is, I think it's pretty arguable that it's not an aspect of true hygiene. But, I mean, keeping a clean face is fine. Eating healthy, all that stuff. Avoiding too much sugar. You know, sugar leads to pimples. And the reason that sugar leads to pimples is because of your liver and all that good stuff. So, what? What's the matter you? Huh? What's the matter you? You got a problem with me? How'd you say that in my face? Going about it all the wrong tone. Do it again? I'll have to go get my soldering iron. I could never be as awesome as Christopher Walken. Just couldn't do it. I don't have it in me. All right, what's going on? What's going on? /gospel. Oh, yeah. So doing this, I'll have to go back into the chat and, you know, some people need wrenches. You know, anyway, not that I would even, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So it's streamlabs.com /gospelbearer, you know, or, you know, there's always just directly to PayPal, but anyway, what else? So today was, I guess, a little, it's lots of blessings. Things that on one hand could be traumatic or whatever. So I think I kind of told this story, but I'll tell the story again. I got a little bit of time. And interestingly enough, this links to the idea of makeup, but different makeup. So PayPal. So here's what happens. If you do the Streamlabs thing, do a small amount because they take 33%. If you do PayPal Direct, just, you know, it's a gift, so there's no percentage taken away. But if you're trying to like do a fun message or something, just do like $1. But if you're trying to do like something more than $1, then just paypal.me/DevinJump. It's paypal.me/DevinJump. For just $1, fun message, you want to see the little GIF pop up and all that, then it's streamlabs.com/gospelbearer. And that'll be fun. We'll do more of that. They take 33%, which, well, I don't know if it's always 33. It's just if it's $1, I get 66 cents or something, so, or 67 maybe. Anyway, all right, let me tell this story. Yeah, DEVINJUMP, exactly. DEVINJUMP, perfect. Yeah, paypal.me/DevinJump. Anyway, in 2011, my father gave, he negotiated a purchase of land for about 60% less or 70% less than market value. And he gave me the money to pay for it to buy the land. And it was a gift with a condition. And I agreed to that condition verbally. So this was 8 years ago, you know, and my father said, listen, this is a gift to you and your family to give you a leg up. to help set yourself up for the future, all that good stuff. And if for any reason you don't build on this land, I want to buy the land back from you for the same amount I just gave you. So I would technically be buying the land twice, but that's what I'd like to do. I don't want to do this unless you're going to agree to that. And I agreed to that. 8 years go by, and different circumstances. I keep paying the HOA, tiny little HOA, but I pay the HOA and keep it up, pay the taxes, and I move away, and I move, 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 and I move. Lots of moving. And then over time, realize that basically I lose hope that I'll ever be able to build a home to meet the specifications of the HOA. 1,500 square foot minimum. All the homes in the neighborhood are $250,000 plus buildings. All of the homes are selling for over $300K. And as a person literally on below the poverty line for nearly a decade now, with moments of more prosperity than others, but after hardship, so I had never really caught up. Anyway, and moving is terrible. You lose everything. You have to sell stuff, you have to build up again, and moving is ridiculous. Anyway, we'll move on. So anyway, I was like, listen, let me sell this land, see if I can better my situation. I was under the impression and fear that I was going to be sued by my business debt and all that stuff. And it came about more recently that is actually very unlikely that I will be sued because of my circumstances. Now, anybody can be sued. I guess it's possible that they would try and sue a homeless person. I guess that's possible. I mean, what do you do to the dude? I'm a couple of steps away from homelessness. You're never going to be homeless. There are people that would literally have me and my family in their home. Okay? More than one family. More than one. At least 3 people in this country. At least 3. So I know that I wouldn't actually be homeless. So that's not a real tangible fear. But technically homeless. You get what I'm saying? It wouldn't be my home. That's kind of what I mean when I say that. So, anyway, this land that, kind of in my mind was mine, because of the verbal condition, it never really was mine. It never really was. On paper it is, but I had a verbal contract with my father, and, my perspective on this is do what's right. Do what's right. And it's not about what I can do for myself. It's about just peace. I do want to be a peacemaker. So, we had this conversation. It has caused the fact that I was even trying to sell the land, which would violate our verbal contract, greatly upset my father, and I can understand why, because it was a gift meant for a purpose, and if that purpose, it wasn't a gift though, it was actually a contract with a purpose, and the purpose was to benefit my family. I have this very, very narrow-minded thought process that we give without expecting anything in return. So we're supposed to, thank you, by the way, thank you. We're supposed to give and not expect anything back. And that's kind of my narrow-minded perspective. So when somebody says that they're giving a gift, my mind goes to that. But not everybody thinks about these things the same way. And I try to have grace and understanding despite disagreeing on technicalities and such. All that being said is I had to sign up for one of those little stupid trial subscriptions or whatever, this legal, not legal Zoom, but this legal thing to do a quit claim. So I'm going to quit claim the property to my father. Now the property is worth a decent amount. You know, market value is around 40. And what he paid for it was $14,000. And that was, 8 years ago. The value has gone up. But I'm going to quit claim it to my father for $1. And I'll expect the $1 just for legal reasons. But he said, like, part of the verbal contract was that he would give me the $14,000, to help my family. But here's what I'm actually going to do. And this has all been discussed with my wife. And this is like, the good old, this is private communication. You shouldn't be talking about this kind of stuff. I'm going to tell my father. I just put it in recording, just in case. I don't want any money from you with conditions. So please keep the $14,000 unless there's no conditions. Don't give me money with conditions. That's my condition. Please don't give me anything without a if it's got a condition, I don't want it. Just keep it. It's fine. Because the whole holding things over your head and feeling like you owe somebody something, that's not for me. Because I am no longer a slave. My master is Jesus, and not my parents' will. So, as a 34-year-old, I feel like that's pretty reasonable. But that's my little story. And anyway, so I did that document today. So that is why I'm telling that story. That's why it's on my mind. It's not hard to do at all, because despite really needing money, it doesn't matter. I know that God will provide. I know it. And he always has, and I know he always will. So, what is going on? Dodge Ram single cab Y. What in the world? Oh, my email address is my name at gmail.com. Yeah, www.paypal.me/DEVINJUMP. That's my PayPal. But yeah, my email is the exact same thing. devinjump@gmail.com. If it's a Ford, you're living in luxury. A Dodge, though, Dodges are pretty terrible. I don't like Dodges. No offense, but I'm pretty sure that Small Hats made the Dodge. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Not that there's anything wrong with that at all. But I have a Honda. And it was actually made in Alabama. Alabama, the winningest state of all time. castration for pedos? Are you kidding me? When I want to fact check that, because are you kidding me? And I don't even know what chemical castration means. But anything that where you put castration and pedo in the same sentence, that's a win. I'm gonna fill my tank up. I'll be back. I'm still streaming. What's that? Oh, man. Aw, see, that's no good. Come on, Alabama. Come on. Just go the whole way. Chop it off. Chop it off. Reduce their drive. Their drive is coming directly from the devil. You think drugs are gonna work? Are you kidding me? All right, well, I take everything I said back. If they just need to chop it off, chemical castration. Why use the word castration? Did a literal retard write that? Castration. Okay, I agree it's a step in the right direction, but that's so meaningless. Reduce their drive. Their drive is literally fueled from the pits of hell. A little drug is not, it's not good. They say that alcohol, produces impotence. And you know how many babies have been conceived under the influence of alcohol? I mean, come on. So ridiculous. Thank you very much, Greta. I see that my FPS is like super low. I can't do anything about it. I already reduced it to 24 frames a second, but it's like bouncing from 3 to 7. I don't know why. I must be in a bad zone. My point still stands. But I mean, chop it off. Chop it off. You kidding? If it's chemical castration for 13 and under, then, and that's the result, that's all it does. I mean, is it Depakote? I mean, or like, I shouldn't have gone, but it's all good. They were flying through that intersection. Not a good day to be T-boned, I'll tell you that. Haloperidol is what they should give them. Haloperidol, or Haldol for short, is what they should. Haldol and Ativan is what they should be giving anybody that, like, just 2 doses a day, all day, every day. Haldol, Ativan, and Cogitin to take off the side effects of the chew on their tongue will be in place. I think 13 and under is fair. Completely fair. 13, chronological, 13 and under, death penalty. Death penalty. Absolutely. But if they're gonna do the chemical castration, do it with Haldol, Ativan, and Cogentin. 2 or 3 times a day. Have them chewing on their tongue and poking their eyes out. I mean, when somebody is on those meds, yeah, I know they're not on the list. Those are antipsychotic meds. Why do you know about it? I have an MA in clinical counseling, and I worked for 2 years in a mental facility, and I got to learn all of the psych meds, all of them. And I read the PDR. If you're not familiar with the PDR, it's a book about that big. It's the physician's desk reference. And I was the one. I've always been the one. Every job, it doesn't matter the position. Hey guys, you're doing this. Listen guys, I'm part Bravo. Okay? I'm part Bravo and I'm part Delta. But I'm definitely, I lean towards the Delta. Very much Delta. Because I'm the one that says, listen, this is not right. This needs fixed. Very Delta. I would call my Delta Bravo. There you go. Delta Bravo. That's what you should call me. It's not as a name, but you get it. But I was the one, and I hope you can hear me clearly. I see that the FPS is just rock bottom. 2 frames a second. Stupid as all get out. Hopefully you can hear me clearly. I don't know. What am I gonna do? All right, so I told them, listen, you guys are giving these people, what was that stupid drug called? Albuterol. Whatever, the anti-alcohol drug that makes you puke when you get near alcohol. I've completely drawn a blank. It starts with an A, I'm pretty sure. It's in my brain. It's just too tucked away. I haven't uncovered that part of my brain in a long time. But anyway, it's in there. I'll remember it someday. So they were giving people these drugs, and the hand sanitizer stations were alcohol-based. And I was like, listen, it's in the PDR. Even skin contact alcohol is going to make somebody puke. And they're like, they're not going to eat it. I said, it's in the PDR. And they're like, doctors. I said, it's in the PDR. Antabuse. That's exactly what, yes, Antabuse. Thank you. And they're like, yeah, they're not gonna eat it. I'm like, you're not listening to me. What is wrong with you people? You're getting paid 6 figures. I'm getting paid $10.80 an hour. What is wrong with you? This is what happens in my life, though. I'm constantly confronted with people that are just obscenely retarded and making just ungodly amounts of money for being retards. Well, I mean, they're making money not because of that. I mean, they're earning their money in different ways, and they paid their dues. Some of that is true. Be a little more gracious. I get it. Okay, some of that is true. But let me finish my story and then go. Come to find out, 3 different people puked, and I got a safety award and a $50 gift certificate and a safety award from the chief operations officer, the COO. And anyway. Oh, that's all the drugs that were, if they give them all of that, holy moly. If they just choose one, then anyway, thanks everybody. I've got to go see my wife. You guys understand. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength.